You know, I always get a little bit, whenever I start recording and just like talking to a camera. There's no banter. You're not gonna give me something else to go off of. My first experience with constructive criticism in the modeling industry, I would say maybe even as a whole. Yeah, it's a good one. Constructive criticism is really important, and especially in the modeling industry, you need to be able to take some constructive criticism. It's something I actually look for in photo shoots. So like if I'm doing a test shoot, if I'm shooting with someone for the first time, I am always open to and always wanting constructive criticism and feedback of my performance, like anything that I could do to improve and get better in my skill set. Why constructive criticism is so important and why it's so important for you to be able to take it as a positive and not as a negative is because someone else will always know more than you do. It allows you to get better at what you do, increase your skill set, and also look at what you're doing from an objective perspective instead of an emotional perspective, right? Because you may be really good at what you do, but there's always somewhere where you can improve. You're always able to level up. Constructive criticism allows you to level up whenever you take it in a positive way. My first experience with some true, real, raw constructive criticism, I will never ever forget this. This story will stick with me forever. I was doing a shoot with this photographer in Dallas, Texas. At the time I think I was like 15. Because I remember having to drive from Tyler, which is like 2 hours away from Dallas. Me and my mom drove me to Dallas for this photo shoot. Then we were going to stay overnight. And we ended up like not getting our hotel on time, and it was a whole ordeal afterwards. We had to find somewhere to stay really quickly because it was late at night, and we didn't know, the shoot didn't have like a time frame, and it ended up being like way longer than expected. And anyway, so we get there and they have hair and makeup and then the photographer and like a stylist and like the whole 9 yards. I'm really, really excited to shoot with this photographer. He's really good. He shoots for brands in Dallas, and it's about to be a really good connection. And yeah, so I sit in the hair and makeup chair. They do my hair, they do my makeup. Absolutely beautiful, flawless hair and makeup. Looks amazing. And we ended up shooting for 4 hours. We did 4 looks in 4 hours. Or I was there for a total of 4 hours. And yeah, we did 4 looks, and I remember feeling really good about it and also really challenged because some of the things that he was asking me for and asking me to portray and asking me to do, I hadn't done it before, and so I didn't have the experience to just bring that to the table. And so he did a decent amount of coaching during the shoot, which was amazing. Like I said, I love that because it allows for me to level up, right? It allows for me to get out of the box that I've created, the bubble that I've created of how I know how to do things. It allows me to learn how to do it differently. And it's very exciting. And so I was excited about that, and then felt really good about the shoot. My mom took a bunch of behind the scenes pictures and videos and stuff, and we had a good time. And hair and makeup artist was amazing. I'm still really good friends with the makeup artist to this day. Yeah, I just remember feeling really, really good about it and really excited to see the final outcome, the final images. And whenever we were leaving, we were done with the shoot, all packed up. I was super stoked. As we were walking out, this photographer looks at me and he says, do you have any hobbies that are like physically active? Like, do you like run or anything? I was like, yeah, like I'm in the gym, like I run on the treadmill. And he was like, no, you need to run on pavement. And I was like, what? Okay, why do I need to run on pavement? Like, what's the difference? He proceeds to tell me that I'm too small. And he's like, you need some muscle mass, you need some shape to you, because I just had none. I had no shape. And I still don't have a lot of shape, but I will say ever since then, I have been in the gym multiple times a week. It has definitely improved my imagery, for sure. Extremely grateful for him and that feedback. At the time, I think I was taken aback and almost a little bit offended, but I took it as a challenge to really improve myself and improve my body and look at my body as like it is my product. My body is my product, and so I have to take the utmost care and also take things like that into consideration without it just like completely, absolutely crushing my self-confidence or self-esteem. Thankfully, it didn't do that. He tells me that and then proceeds to tell me that, so if you don't know, I'm only 5'3". So I'm not super tall. Proportionally, I photograph a little bit taller, thankfully. He proceeds to tell me that I need to learn how to elongate myself in my images. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was telling me like posture wise and the way that I hold like my head and my chin and like where I'm angling, all those things, like I need to elongate myself because I'm not naturally really tall. And unfortunately, I can't just go get a knee surgery and make myself taller. Otherwise, I would. No, I wouldn't. I don't like surgeries. I would dream about it. I do dream about it. I do and don't wish that I was taller. Anyway, I then really stepped into, okay, what does this mean? How can I do this? How can I elongate myself? How can I make myself look taller than I actually am in camera? And some of that comes honestly from the way that the photographer shoots you. So like if a photographer is shooting down on me personally, it's gonna make me look more compact and shorter. If they shoot lower and a little bit angled up, it does make me look a lot taller. It elongates my legs. Posture comes into play. So posture for me is extremely important to elongate myself, make myself look taller. And the way that I hold my head, also the angle, like I said, the angle the photographer chooses to shoot me at. I think in a way I was, like I said, a little bit offended or a little bit like just taken aback or like, I don't know what to do with this information. I decided to fucking run with it, honestly. Like, really take to heart what he said, take it into consideration, and figure out what the hell to do with it. I studied a lot. I studied other models. From then on, I would look at like all of my images. If I was sent all images from a photographer, I would go through and I would look at all of my images and I would analyze them and I would judge them and I would see where I can do better. And I think that little tidbit of information that he gave me allowed me to elevate my posing and my craft and take that into other photo shoots. And I do now. It's funny because like I look back at that and now I get told all the time like, oh, you photograph really tall. Like I thought you were going to be taller. Like I hear that all the time whenever I show up to photo shoots. And I always think back to that moment. That moment is what sparked that for me, what sparked that like drive to be able to learn how to do that. Because he didn't tell me how to do it. He didn't say necessarily like do this, this, and this. He was just like, you need more shape and you need to learn how to elongate yourself. I now have this like real want and desire for constructive criticism. And I think not a lot, but maybe a decent amount of photographers are not always willing to give it for whatever reason. Maybe they don't want to hurt your feelings, or maybe they're just not comfortable doing that. All right, so my camera totally died on me and it was way too late. So good morning. My point is, with all of that being said, constructive criticism will help you level up your game. It will help you get better at what you do and what you're doing. So take it with grace. Think about whenever you're giving someone else constructive criticism, if you want to, giving it to them in a sandwich. So something positive, something constructive, and then something positive again. And that way it kind of softens the blow. And maybe you can teach that to other people as well so that they can give good constructive criticism. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all the things. Comment below if there's anything that you want to see, anything specific about the modeling industry, any stories that you want to hear from me. Thank you so much.